Greetings people, it's Jared here, Wolfgang1, back to do another Transformers review. Now, today I'm going to be doing a figure which has been sitting in my collection for quite a while now, and doing nothing interesting except gathering the occasional bit of dust. So I thought I'd give this a go while I'm waiting for some parts to come in for other figures, especially for a review that Marcus Prime wanted to see me do. In the absence of those parts being here, I thought I'd just get something out of my collection that I haven't reviewed before, and I thought I'd quite like to take a look at. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the review for Generation 1 Spinister. Okay, so here is Spinister in his Apache attack chopper alt mode. He was a second generation Decepticon double Targetmaster, so he came out in 1988. And the gimmick for these were the Targetmasters were smaller than the 1987 ones, and they came with two Targetmaster companions instead of just one. So to have a look at some of the parts he came with, I'll just set him off to one side for a second. He came with Singe, who's this. See if I can get a close up of him there. This is Singe, and he turns into like a dual flamethrower or some shit, I don't know. That's one. And the other one was Hair Splitter. So no articulation on these guys at all, just like mini little statues with massive nipple erections. There's a little bit of a sculpted detail in the face and the arms and everything like that, but essentially their only gimmick is to either stand there like that, or their transformation is basically fold out the back panel and it becomes the dual weapon, and the same with Singe as well. So Singe and Hair Splitter, that's it. That's in their weapon mode. I mean, you've got to use a little bit of imagination with that. And basically, they would fit onto the underside of these two black sections just here. So I will put one on one side. It doesn't matter which way around they go. Hang on, that's not going for some reason. There we are. There's one. There's two. Bring it all in together. And that's Spinister in his attack mode. One of the rare times where an attack mode sort of works, but sort of doesn't, mostly because, you know, that looks awkward as fuck. This one does have a tendency to pop off a little bit, and I'm having trouble getting it on there because my arms hurt, because I went shopping earlier, and I can barely move my arm. So ignoring my general pain and everything like that. So Spinister in his attack mode. I recently repro-labeled him. Oh, sorry, I should say toy hacked him, for what it's worth. Because the stickers on this guy were absolutely beyond fucked. So I've given him a complete restoration job. So sadly, nothing I could do about the paint chipping just on the forward section of the cockpit there. So you can see that was all blue molded plastic, and they just painted in where they had to. Yeah, so it's kind of a shame. And I gave him a silver Decepticon sticker just on the front. I got this guy. He didn't appear in the cartoon or anything like that. I got this guy, I think, from a convention, but I paid $7.99 for the Targetmaster companions on eBay. And this is something I wanted to mention. eBay used to have this thing where after 60 or 90 days, it would give you the transaction reference number and your feedback, but it wouldn't tell you how much you paid or what you bought. So recently, eBay has given you the ability to see what you bought, transaction number, how much you paid, and your feedback. So I've been going back over all my eBay purchases of the last decade and filling in my spreadsheet to see how much I've paid for some things. And I'm going to be doing that going forward. You would not believe some of the fucking deals I've got on eBay, because I was, I don't know if I still am, I'm a bit of a jammy cunt. So $7.99 for those two. I'm not sure how much I paid for Spinister. He would have been a convention purchase, so I'll look at my collection update videos and update you guys if you care. So he's in the garish. See, this is where I kind of feel this is where they thought G2 was like going to be like big thing, like the garish colours and that. It's Decepticon colours, but garish to the extreme. And he's not that much of an exciting figure, to be honest. He's not. But I got him. I think I got him relatively cheap at a convention. And I liked him because his character. I never had this one as a kid. His character in the Marvel comics. He was part of the Mayhem Attack Squad. And he was with Needle Nose, who I thought I'd done a review of, but apparently I haven't, so I'll do one on him soon. Needle Nose, Karnavek, Snarler, and like a few other cunts. And yeah, he was portrayed as a proper nasty bastard. He's also had a resurgence, I think, in IDW publishings, where he's got a completely different character, but he's a bastard. Character aside, you know, here's the toy, quite frankly. Articulation wise, in this mode, the rotors spin round, but you know, they've seen better days, as you can clearly see. Like a dog or a child has chewed those or something like that. And my one is a little loose in this back section just here. As you can see, it doesn't sit as well as it should do. You know, these were never reissued. This is an original, and you know, you can see all the screws are rusted in it, everything like that. But you know, second generation Targetmaster, these guys would have come, instead of a box, these would have been carded, like the second generation Pretenders, and I think the headmasters and things like that. Yeah, these guys would have been like on a backing card with a bubble, because that's how much thought, care, and consideration Hasbro putting into their line by that point. And yeah, the back one spins and the forward rotors spin, and that's about as much as you get out of this attack mode. So to take it to robot, you know, as it stands, I don't mind it. I'd like to display it in this mode if possible, because I think this mode is pretty cool. But space does not allow for that eventuality. So I have to make do with what I've got. To leave them all in robot mode. But for what it is, which is, you know, as I said, smaller than the original Targetmasters, I think he's pretty cool in this mode. You know, garish colours aside, he's what he is. So to transform him, let's take off the double Targetmaster companions and see if I can remember how to do this. Let's start by pulling out this section just here, the cockpit section, and flipping that, or not. Oh, for God's sake. Right, okay. Let's start again, because obviously, you know, it won't be a Wolfgang 1 review unless, you know, I do something completely fucking stupid on a really basic toy. Get this shit out of the way and move these two sections up, okay? Just like flip them up like that. Then you can get this out of the way, because that makes all the fucking difference. And then you kind of want to spin this entire back section 180, like that. Okay. And then, see if I can get all this on camera, would be good, wouldn't it? These sections here, on the underside of the helicopter, fold those out, I think. Ow. There we are. Fold those out on both sides. And then these black tabs here for the hands, you want to pull those out. I'm going to be using a trusty screwdriver for this, because I don't have nails and I don't have the arm strength to do it. There we are. There's one. Spin that out. And then the same on this one just here. There we are. Like that. Okay. Then you want to pull this entire section, the tail section, back. That's stiff. Jesus. Then the rotor blades, spin those around. Get those out of the way. Spin them around and have one sitting on either side of the tail section like that. And then spin the head round 180 degrees. And that's the robot mode right there. So I'm going to pull the camera back so you can actually see that. There we are. Almost done. Almost done. There we go. Get that out of the way. And there is Spinister in his robot mode. He's let's get zoom in again, because I don't like my backdrop particularly. But there we are, whatever. And there's Spinister in his robot mode. He's, you know, let's get a close up of the face here. He's all right in robot mode. I do think the new stickers really do actually assist this mold, because the previous stickers were either peeling off or so damaged that you couldn't really make out any discernible detail. So the new stickers and new stickers on the side there and everything like that really do help actually almost give this toy a new lease on life, despite the fact it is 35 years old or whatever the case may be. And there are limitations in its design. I'm not going to pretend there isn't. For example, for how tall he is, I'd say he's probably about 4.5 inches, 5 inches, something like that. The arms are ridiculously stubby. Maybe it would have been nice if you pull these black sections out and then extend them a little bit down to about here. That might go some way to making the figure look a little less ridiculous than it is. Articulation wise, the head will spin around 360 like that. The arms will spin around 360, and the legs bend at the knee, but that's mostly for transformation. Maybe it would have been nice to see maybe the leg section split a little bit so the thighs weren't so close together. Maybe if they split out a little bit to the sides at the hip skirts, that would have been nice. I am, of course, talking about a toy that's 3 decades old, and obviously there are limitations in its construction and its overall design, as I said before. But little things like that, I mean, it's easy to look at things like this now and go, oh well, I'd have done this and I'd have done that. Yeah, well, I'm not a fucking toy designer, and I dare say if I was, I wouldn't be painstakingly going back over this. I know that Spinister got a second toy, an updated toy. Was it in the Power of the Primes line, where they made him a combiner like they made every cunt a combiner? And I don't actually think that was. It didn't need to happen, quite frankly. I think him and Needle Nose, do they become limbs for a combiner or something? I can't remember. But yeah, he's, despite the fact that his arms are stubby and a little bit more paint on the face to differentiate the eyes from the mouth plate and everything would have been nice, and the splitting of the legs would have been like awesome. Despite that, and despite the fact, because of that, he is just a little bit shit, right? I actually quite like him. He's one of those that obviously I never got as a kid. And I don't think I've got any of the second generation Targetmasters actually. So to be able to have him now is is pretty cool. And he's one of those ones that I thought, oh, wouldn't it be good to get a Spinister? And I got it in hand. I went, no, actually, it maybe not so cool to get a Spinister, but he is what he is, and he fills out my G1 collection very, very nicely. He's what, as it was getting towards the end of the line, I think they started becoming more oddities than anything else. But yeah, I don't have a massive problem with him other than the limited engineering. But of course, he is a product of his time, so I can't really hold that against him, even though I just did. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is my review on Spinister. And plus the fact as well, let me just say this. He's got an awesome name, Sinister, but his rotor blades spin around, so he's Spinister. Hey, play on words there. I guess whoever thought up that name went home and had a big wank at the end of it. And I'm only saying that because I think that's exactly what I would have done. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's G1 Spinister in all his glory, all repro labelled up and looking not quite as shit as he did before I put the new stickers on. So thank you very much for watching this review. If you want to go out and get one, get one. If you think you can quite happily live without him, then you're not missing out on anything. You don't lose any sleep over it if you haven't got him. He's fine for what he is. He's nothing stellar or amazing, but as the line was getting into 1988, 1989, 1990, I guess less exciting was really what they were going for, and that's what they were sticking to. And he basically ticks most of the boxes in the alright but a bit shit, a bit unexciting categories. So yeah, I don't hate him, but he's nothing brilliant. So thank you very much for watching this review, ladies and gentlemen. This is Gerard Gavin Barry, also known as Wolfgang1, saying I will be back next week with another review. Do hope you enjoyed this. There's other stuff coming on my channel soon, more Strange Corners, more gaming videos once I get my arse in gear, and a couple of other things. So do check back. I look forward to reading your comments. Do leave a comment, share, subscribe, like the video. What all that stuff that people tell you to do with their videos, right? That I forget each and every fucking time I do a video. Do all that, right? Spread me out into the wider universe. Get my name out there, and then maybe I can get more than 30 hits on a video, because I used to do quite well on my reviews. Now I'm lucky. I don't break 50 views a video anymore, but whatever. That's my thing to cry over. Yeah, so I'll be back very, very soon with more content. Do hope you enjoyed this as it stands. Thank you very much for watching, and take care. And well, tomorrow